So I've had this lifetime Tamarack Angler Pro for the whole season now, for 4 or 5 months of fishing, and I love the kayak. I mean, don't get me wrong, but there was some things that I had to do to be able to successfully fish on a kayak, especially someone like me who's never really done it before. So after using it for the season, I made some small little fixes and things that happened. I load this into a Toyota Corolla, and yeah, it fits, but there's some scratching that's been happening right here on each side. So I just got some super resistant, waterproof, like duct tape kind of stuff, just to kind of keep it from getting destroyed any farther. Pretty tough though. After like a week or so, the very first handhold that was up front broke, so I made a new one with the same old handle that came with it, and it works just fine. I actually like it now that it's longer. It seems to be a little easier to use. Uh, the This thing works pretty darn good. I mean, it seemed kind of flimsy when I first looked at it when I got it, and after using it all season, it's come in pretty handy at a bunch of occasions. You don't realize, how difficult it is comparatively to bring a fish into the kayak as it is to bring a fish into a boat or pull it on land. So every little bit of room is important, and it's become quite handy. And I do, spin casting and fly fishing, so I take all my stuff with me because I never know what I'm gonna do. And even with that, 3 rods, I'm still a minimalist compared to some of these guys that you see on the internet. Uh, this is one of the cooler things I did. It was really easy, just some Velcro. Fastens this little box in, and when you're out on the water, you just keep some tools. That's what I keep, some tools in there, and my gink for my flies, and just whatever else I decide to put in there, a cell phone or something if I don't want to put it in my dry storage. So that kind of doubles as like 2 little baskets that are pretty safe, and uh, I think that was pretty cool. um, After a while, I had a hard time seeing these measurements on the stick here, so I kind of just painted over those a little bit so you could read them better. Um, let's see. I have towels everywhere. After a day of fishing, I go through like 5 or 6 towels that are just soaking wet near the end of it. So I always manage to have a lot loaded in here. And this is all done on a budget. I don't have a lot of money. I'm a truck driver, and I've got 4 kids and a mortgage, so I don't really spend a lot of money on stuff I don't need to, like an anchor. Okay, so you get a good carabiner, tie some knots into a rope, and go to a garage sale and find a huge heavy wrench for $1, and pow. And it's titanium alloy, so it doesn't rust like most wrenches, which is great. And I haven't had an issue with that yet. It just sits under my seat. And let's see. The next couple, there's my net. If you're on a kayak and you're trying to catch fish, holy cow, guys, get a freaking net. The net is amazing, and the first time I caught a fish on my kayak, I didn't have the net, and I was like, okay, this is really, really hard. So, easy thing to fix too. Back on this, the seat sat a little too far down, and if you look at it now, there's a 2x4 that I cut to fit underneath where the back part of the seat sits down, and it keeps it up essentially, and it still latches in place, and it's still safe and doesn't move, but it ends up sitting up off the kayak about, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches higher than it was. Well, 3 inches higher. So it gives me a little bit a better stance, and like I said, the balance difference is negligible. I didn't even notice the difference being up 3 inches, other than the fact that it was a lot easier to stand up from this than it was with this all the way down where it's supposed to be. It made a huge difference immediately. So if you guys have one of these kayaks, that's something stupid easy and simple to do. And if you wanted, you could even get some kind of a metal strap to kind of screw on each side. But I mean, at that point, it won't be mobile. This way, it's still mobile. So just something to think about. And then my crate. Everybody's got a crate. This is my crate. And like I said, I'm a pretty much a minimalist. I don't really have a whole lot of gear. Don't really need it. You know, I've got one case that holds my flies, and it's not very many, just a few. You know, got my spin casting case. You know, with all my other stuff other than not fly fishing. You know, that's pretty simple. And this is my only other thing that has any kind of gear for my rigs, is this little box that just has some sinkers and line and leaders and all that stuff. So nothing crazy. That's all I run, really. And just a bunch of towels, like I said, some bug dope. Got a knife just in case I decide to do some cooking somewhere where I'm camping. And a lunch bag. I mean, you can mount a cooler on the front. I've got a stringer in there that I can string out on the side of the boat to keep fish alive if I want, that I'm keeping. I mean, I haven't really spent hardly any money on it, and it was cheap to start. So, I don't know, after the whole year, like I said, other than the modifications and that stupid front handle breaking, that's the only issue I've had with it. The paddles, if you guys end up with one of these things, take the paddle and friggin' throw it away. I'm gonna order a new paddle this winter and have it ready for next year, because these things are garbage. The paddles just suck. They really hit a home run with the Yak itself. Lifetime did, but they need to put some kind of effort into their freaking paddles. They're floppy, they're soft, they feel like they're gonna break. Just not anything that you would want, really. You're gonna want to get a longer paddle for sure. I mean, I can almost guarantee it. Everything else on the kayak has worked phenomenally. I haven't, had any issues with it at all. It doesn't go super fast over the water, but it's definitely gets you to your spots to fish, and that's what I care about. I don't really care about going slow. This winter, I'm also going to make some PVC retractable outriggers for it, and I'll make a video about that too. It's a great kayak, and like I said, if you don't have the money to spend on $1,000 kayak or $500 kayak, these things are amazing. They're at Walmart. They're $400 or $380 or something stupid like that. It is the absolute easiest way to get yourself on the water in something, and to get yourself to where the fish are and not have to wait for the fish to come to you. If you haven't kayak fished, you haven't fished. It's incredible. You can get everywhere you need to go, and you can do it dryly. Also, if you don't do the 2x4 riser, and you just want to leave it down, I really recommend taking an old life preserver, one that's broken from something that you're not going to use as a flotation device, and strap it to the bottom of the seat, because with this, material sitting on the bottom of the kayak, it's not very comfortable. So this actually helped a ton, and even with it up, it still helps. I still like it, so I left it on there. But just another little piece of advice: the seat is very comfortable, and it's even more comfortable now that I've raised it. So, and also you get a whole lot more room for storage underneath. Like, I couldn't even get my fingers in here before, and now my whole arm goes in. So I could put all my fishing gear underneath there, some lunch or candy or whatever. So that's just something that you guys should probably think about too. If you have one of these, or any kayak with a seat that's on the ground, find a way to raise it, and you'll increase your experience, a lot. It'll be a lot better for you. Also going to get a fish finder here soon too, a little cheap one with a mounting kit for a kayak. So we'll see how that goes. All right, that's it. So fish on.